Good morning. You know, things can change. Things can change in our country, on this planet, but they're not going to change with the same approach that we've been using. You can't legislate morality. You can't legislate inclusivity. You can't legislate freedom for all because freedom is defined differently by different people. You can't reach from, outside of you and force it. You can make efforts outside of yourself from a place of love and really see things change. This is an inside job. I know it seems like, yeah, the inside job is me, but then there's everything that's going on. Everything that's going on is a reflection of what's going on inside of us. It starts with us. It starts with finding ways that we're not whole, that we're not at peace with ourselves, that we don't love ourselves, and talking about them. Being authentic with our family, with our friends, with ourselves, most especially, with whatever your paradigm of a higher power is. Although it's not going to be that helpful if your paradigm of a higher power has conditional acceptance of you and is capable of judgment, you're not going to get too far. The consciousness that holds it all together is love. It's at the vibration of love, and it's only love. If it ever slipped from that, everything would cease to exist. Think about it. The shootings, the problems in Washington when it comes to the United States, the problems around the world, the unrest, the suffering, the government's collapsing. I mean, the climate, we're not in harmony with the earth, and there's, massive effects of climate change. It starts with all of us. And we don't think that way because we have been programmed to think that doing is more powerful than being. That the effect we have is by what we do or what we write. Honestly, even like it's more powerful that who I am and who I be than I make this video, or that I write a book, or that anyone do anything. Now, those things can help. Those things can share a state of being. They're only going to be helpful if they share a state of being. We have to go back to ancient wisdom. We have to go back to what indigenous people have always known. That harmony within the community and harmony in nature starts with inner harmony. In taking only what we need and giving. It comes with ample time of reflection. We call it meditation now. But getting still in nature, getting still with ourselves, with our own heart, and seeing what's there. And there's so much shit happening now because consciousness is changing. It's trying to. I mean, it is, and it will. 2012 was not about the end of the world. It was about the end of an age of a certain energetic paradigm of masculine-dominated, fear-based energy. And that is shifting. But all the shadow, the more light you have, the more shadow you're going to see. So it's harder to hold shit down. And hence we see what we see. We see a lot of chaos. We see a lot of love and a lot of solutions coming from people that are authentic in who they are. Young people especially. But we see all this old stuff that's just rising to the surface. I'm so grateful to know experientially that if you spend enough time in nature, in a form of meditation, being with the present moment, just being in the present moment and with your breath, which will reconnect you to who you really are and reconnect you to the energy of the present moment and not what your mind and the fear it creates and the story it creates is telling you. That when you connect with that long enough, you begin to connect to something greater than yourself, love, peace, joy, expansion. You start to see who you really are, and it shifts tremendously how you react to the world around you. I'm so grateful that we can learn, every single one of us can learn to see things like someone shooting up a nightclub or a school, or to see an incredibly insecure man as the leader of the free world. I don't know if that position still even is that, and instead of being angry or fearful at those things, or to see, radicalized Islamic Jihad or any other sort of violence, hatred, then instead of responding in fear or anger, that the immediate response can be empathy. Because I know, and so many of us know, that is not who we really are, and that is not who anyone really is. That is a personality. That is a response to an environment. That's a programming. It's a personality. It's probably a lot of push-down stuff, whether it's PTSD from childhood or war or whatever, or foreign occupation of country for decades and decades, birthing hatred in the Middle East. We can see that as not who that person really is. It's just disconnection. It's pain. It's internal pain. So instead of wanting to, stop it and get protective, get fearful, that I and so many others just feel for that person, those people. This is the way the world's going to change. I don't have all my shit worked out, clearly. I have more to do. But I can tell you that it's wonderful to not ever hate anymore, to not ever judge anymore. Ever. To not feel any feelings of judgment. Guy shot up people in Thousand Oaks. It's awful. My lack of judgment doesn't condone the behavior. It doesn't say it's okay. It doesn't say I want that to happen again. It feels empathy and compassion for the people that were affected and the families of those people that are gone or seriously hurt. But I also feel an immense empathy for a soul that was so disconnected that it would do that. That's so much pain inside that's how they would react. And that's how I feel. And that's how anyone feels who's really connected to themselves about any of the shit they see happening. It's how they feel about the president. It's how they feel about terrorists. It's how they feel about dictators and people in other countries that are treating other people horribly. Feel compassion. This is how the world changes. Because our inner state of being affects what's going on. What's going on is simply a reflection of mass consciousness. Everything can change. We have to change our approach. It starts with love. It starts with you loving you. You digging through whatever has to happen to love yourself. To connect to yourself. And when you do that, you will have an energy, a light, and a perspective, and you will not be reactionary. Your energy will not be reactionary, it will be created. And it'll be, instead of being affected, it'll be doing the affecting. Both locally, people around you, and just invisibly through mass consciousness. Because we're all contributing something. Love or fear. And a whole lot of ranges of things in between. If we all just move a little, and it's a process, more toward love, that's how things are going to change. And then when we act, when we vote, when we do what we can from a space of love, we can also physically, in a three-dimensional way, try to create change. And we can move and we can help, we can give, we can serve. And that does help. But we have it backwards if we think what we do is more important than how we're being. Be the change you want to see in the world. And he actually meant be, not do. Not do the change you want to see. Be the change that from a state of being do. Have a great day. Namaste.